Hello, and welcome to the webinar Getting Started with OneDesk. I'm Derek, and I'm going to be showing you around OneDesk as if you are a brand new user. So on my screen here, what you're seeing is an account that is the result of just signing up on our site. So this is what you'll see when you sign up. As you can see, we've created the account, put in some sample data for you to play around with. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through the entire product and hopefully answer a lot of your questions. But if you have not yet already signed up for your trial account, I encourage you to do so. So you can just do that on our website, www.onedesk.com, and take a look for yourself. Okay, so OneDesk is an application that combines project management and help desk into a single application. To that effect, we've basically built an application that handles tickets and tasks and combines their workflows, allows you to do some pretty creative things to serve your customers and manage your projects in one place. So when you sign up, you'll see this view. Where I am right now is in my tickets view. So you can see that because this icon is highlighted on the side. I also have a tasks application, timesheets, customers, users, projects, activities. Here's my messenger, and here's my administration panel, which I can see because I am administrator. Now in the tickets view, we have a bunch of options available to you. As you can see here, we have different views, and these top 5 options are just standard views that every account has. And underneath here, we have what are your custom views. So these custom views here, you can configure them, change them, put some in here to get you started, but feel free to delete them, add your own, and so on. Taking a look at the flat view of tickets, for example, you can see all the tickets that I have in here, and in fact my ticketing application also combines my knowledge-based application. So here I can see a sample knowledge-based article. I can see them grouped into projects. So if I decide to organize my tickets into projects, I can do that. I can see them on a status board. So if you're familiar with Kanban or card type interfaces, we have that as well. On a calendar, on a dashboard, and so on. So these are just different ways of looking at your tickets. But how do you get tickets into your OneDesk account? Well, let me show you. Here is a ticket, and I can open the details of that ticket by clicking View Details, or I can double-click on the ID. This will pop up the ticket details. Tickets can be captured into your account through a variety of channels. So you can just create one. For example, you can click Add Ticket, fill out the form, and create a new ticket. So pretty straightforward. Here's the new ticket I created. You can then move it around into the appropriate project or have an automation automatically classified for you. You can also capture tickets through integrations, through import, but of course the most common way is to capture your tickets by email. So to capture tickets by email, what you do is you just auto forward your support box, so your own support email box, to your OneDesk email address. Your OneDesk email address can be found here under Administration, Tickets, and you'll see here's your ticket capture email address right here. So just auto forward your support email box to this. Now it's important to do an auto forward, not a manual forward. A manual forward will assume that you, the person who forwarded it, is the one submitting the ticket, whereas an auto forward will pass straight through and capture the original requester. So that's important to know the difference there. So if my company is Acme 04, then my normal support box might be support@acme04.com, and I'm going to auto forward that to tickets@acme04.onedesk.com, something like that. You can find your email addresses under Administration Tickets. Going back to the tickets application here, I can capture it. What will happen when I capture it from email is I'll capture the original requester. They'll be added here. I'll capture the contents of the ticket, so the subject line will become the name of the ticket. The details of the ticket will be pulled from the body content. If there are any attachments or images, they'll also be captured and added as attachments to the ticket right here. And after that, what will happen is OneDesk's automations will kick in and do what you've asked them to do. Those things can consist of things like automatically putting a ticket into a specific project, automatically assigning a ticket to a team or to a team member, automatically replying to the customer to let them know that you've received their ticket and that you'll get to work on it. So that's the other way of capturing tickets. Of course, it's one of the most common, but there are two other ways. We also have what we call web forms. So web forms is a customer app. It can be connected to your client portal, or you can just put it directly on your website. And that allows you to capture tickets directly from your customers. So if you go to under your name and click Preview Customer Apps, we'll give you kind of a sample page with your customer apps on it. Here's the widget that you can put on your website, and we have the web forms. Let me just expand this so you can see. Now you can put the web form embedded in the widget, or you can put it directly in your page. But here's what it looks like, and you can configure this. I'll show you how to do that a bit later. There's the portal. So your portal, you can also put it completely independently or embed it in the widget. And this is where your customers can see their open tickets, so they can log in and see their tickets. And then there's the messenger. And this is a chat application that you can put on your website where you can offer live support to your customers. So when conversations come in, you also have the option here of transforming those conversations into tickets. So as you can see, there's lots of ways of getting tickets into your account. And once those tickets come in, the automations kick in and can do some of the repetitive work that you'd have to do to triage and to assign those tickets. Let's go back to this new ticket that we created, but let's pretend we captured this one by email. When we capture a ticket by email, it'll be automatically assigned. Here we've got an auto response turned on, so you can see the bot is automatically thanking the customer for the ticket, telling them where they can visit on the portal, and so on. At some point, though, you'll want to reply to the customer yourself. And so in this case, you might say my response, and you can send that off. When you send that off, this will go off to the customer. This was sent off by email. If it were via chat, it would be a live chat if they were still online. If not, it would be relayed by email. So you're having this conversation here, and what you may have noticed is that the status automatically changed to pending customer. That means I sent it out, I'm waiting for the customer. When the customer replies back, it'll automatically flip to pending agent, and so on and so forth, back and forth, so that I always know whether it's my turn or whether I'm waiting on the customer. And at some point, we can perhaps close it off. So that's sort of the standard life cycle of a ticket. A ticket comes in through your various channels. Its automation rules are applied to it, and then you reply to it and you resolve it and take it through its workflow. Lots of things are configurable in OneDesk. As you may notice, as administrator, I have links in the interface to take me to a place to configure it. So for example, here I could configure the status. I could, in fact, configure custom fields, Many things are configurable inside OneDesk. So one of the great things about OneDesk is that it allows you to blend the flows between your ticketing system and your project management system. So one thing I can do here is I can change the type of my ticket to something else completely. For example, perhaps what has come in is actually something that needs to be worked on inside of a project. So I'll just change it to a task. It's changed. It's launched into its own task lifecycle, and in fact has moved applications into the project management application. So that's a summary of the ticketing. There's lots of details, and we'll get into some of the configuration options and workflow options later. But that basically gives you the high-level view of the ticketing system in OneDesk. Now I've moved over to the project management application. Now project management allows you to create tasks, organize them to projects, schedule them out, plan them, get to work on them, and track them. So to that effect, we have a lot of different views to help you manage these processes. Once again, we have the tree view, the flat view. We also have a Gantt chart, which allows you to show your tasks over time. It's highly interactive. Here's the ticket that we just pushed. It became a task, still named new ticket because that's how I named it. And we can schedule this out by just dragging and dropping on the Gantt chart. We can move things from one project to the next. We can see tasks on a status board, and you can see how we can just move the status from one to the next just by dragging and dropping. We can see them on a calendar and on a dashboard, and then we can get into the power of the different views. Okay, so my to-do is a view that shows the things that are assigned to me that are not yet completed. Pretty straightforward. We can have a task inbox, which I've decided shows all the tasks grouped by the date that they arrived. So this is a useful one. By the way, all these different views and view configuration options are also available in the other applications as well, such as tickets. We can have an assignee board. Here, we've actually columnized our cards by the assignee, so we can in fact drag and drop from one column to the next to reassign. By priority, here I'm grouping by priority, and so forth. You get the idea. You create your new views by clicking here. Now, by clicking here, you can create and share a view across your company. So here, I can choose what kind of layout do I want it to be. A tree view, a flat, card, calendar, dashboard, or Gantt, what I just showed you earlier. I can filter out. So for example, if I only want high priority, I can make that change. Only high priority tasks are here. And I can group them by their priority, or maybe I'd like to group them by something else. Let's group them by the author. So I want to see the high priority tasks by who created them, and then I can save that view. As administrator, I can share this view across my entire organization. So I'm going to save this as a new view, and we'll say priority 2, and I'll save that. Now you can see priority 2 is added here, and it's selected. So I can create new views, manage them very, very simply and straightforwardly. So that's some of the views creation tools that are available in the project management side of things. Now on the Gantt chart, which I showed you briefly before, you may notice there are blue bars and green bars. The blue bars represent your plan. So when you start planning out a task, you can determine when it should start, who it's assigned to, how long it will take, how much work is involved, and so on. But the green bars will track what actually happened. So when did the task actually begin work? How long did it take? And so on. So the Gantt chart also provides a great visual tool to allow you to compare your plans to reality, to see how well you were able to plan for your tasks, and then get better at this over time by seeing where did we go wrong, which tasks took longer, can I assign more people to those tasks, should I start them earlier, things like that. At the top here of our views panel, we're able to filter down to individual projects. So right now I'm looking at the all projects level, but I may want to look at just one project or a portfolio of projects. I can just select that and the view will be filtered down to just showing me that. Let me just grab, say, a sample project here. You can see it's reduced. So this, what we call the scope selector, allows you to choose the level of your project hierarchy that you want to concentrate on right now. All right, let's go back to the tree and let's open some of the task details and take a look. Now the task detail panel is also configurable, and I'll show you where to do all your configuration later. Let me just dock the panel on the side so we can see the list and the details at the same time. So here you can see we have the status. Statuses are configurable. We can assign to a user or to a team. We can also update the percent complete. We can start and stop a timer, and we can add a timesheet. Let me show you those two features. If I add a timesheet, it allows me to enter the work that I performed on this particular task. So let's say I did 2 hours. Now it is half done. I can make a note if I'd like to, and I can submit it. This just created a timesheet on this particular task. There you go. And it updated the percent complete. And because I have an automation to do this, it automatically switched my status to in progress. Now, perhaps later I want to work on it again, but I don't want to remember how long I spent. So I just click Start Timer, and the timer starts ticking away. When I'm done, I can click Stop, and then just complete the timesheet here. So now I'm 75% done, and submit. The mobile application, the OneDesk mobile application, also has your task list, your timesheets, and your timer. So in fact, you can start a timer here, stop it on your phone, add timesheets while you're on the road. All this is possible with the mobile application as well. It's available for iOS and Android, and so we recommend that you go and try that out on your phone. Now, what also happened when I created these timesheets is the actual schedule was updated. So now let's jump back to the GAN and see what it looks like visually. I'll just close the details to have more screen here, and you can see that I've started creating an actuals bar for this particular task. So when I dragged it before, I decided to plan it to start here and take one day. Here you can see that now that I started work on it, it started today and it's continuing on, and here's where we are now. So once it's done, then we'll be able to compare how well did my plan match reality. Another aspect of project management is actually managing the projects themselves. So if I jump over to the projects application by selecting this icon here, it allows me to see, and let me just jump up to the all projects level. It allows me to see all the projects I've selected at my scope. Here you can see I've organized, here's my organization, I have a portfolio in there, and I have 2 projects in there. These are the similar kind of projects that you'll see in your account when you sign up, but you can create your own. Creating a project is also very easy. You click Add Project, and you can give a name to your project, and you can decide whether you want to share it with users, with customers, change some of the other settings, and then create the project. Project gets added. I can organize it by just dragging and dropping into a portfolio or wherever I want it in my project hierarchy. Now, with projects, you can always rearrange them later. So don't feel that you need to figure out what's your project structure right at the beginning. It's not necessary. Just create a project, keep a flat list, and then over time, as you decide you want to organize it, just drag and drop it around. Now, you could have a lot of projects in your account, and maybe not everyone is involved in all the projects. So what you can do is you can share the projects. Now, as you saw when I created it, I was given options to share it with users and customers, but I can also share it after the fact. So here, I can see that here are the people that are working on this project. At this point, it's only me, but I could add a few customers or teams or other users right here. So if I click that, and you can see this project is shared with one of my customers. Let's talk about the communication flow within a particular task or project. I'll jump back to a task here, and I'll go to my tree view, and I'll open the details of a random task. Now, when I make a comment on this, you can see here I've set the bot to automatically make comments to update us when the status changes and things like that. But I can also make responses myself, just like I could with a ticket. So I just type my reply and send it off. I may want to create a new conversation. So if I can create a new conversation, I have the choice of making a customer reply or an internal message. When I make a customer reply, it'll be visible to any of the customers that are following this particular conversation. In this case, there are none. When I make an internal message, it will only be private to the internal users. So this allows me to have parallel conversations on a task or ticket that I can ensure are just stay internal to the organization, or that are available to the customers as well. This allows me to deliver support to the customer at the same time discussing this ticket or task internally. So there, just a little give you a bit of an overview of the flow there. In my customers application, I can see a list of all the customers that I have in my organization. So in this case, I just have the one. I can create more customers by adding them, by importing them, or I can wait for them to automatically arrive as they send emails. So when an email arrives from an unknown contact, they'll automatically get added as a customer here. I don't need to bother importing them. If I just auto forward my box, auto capture will just happen on its own. You can manage your customers here by deactivating them or sharing a project with them or doing a variety of things. We have a similar kind of view for your users. Now your users, you can group them into teams. Your customers, you can group them into customer organizations. These are just ways of organizing them, but they also provide options for communicating to an entire organization of customers or to an entire team of users, or sharing and things like that. So there's some utility in grouping your customers or users into teams or customer organizations. Options here to help manage your users as well. Now I'm going to jump to I'm going to jump to activities and discussions. Activities here show you all the different activities that occurred in your account. So you can see here that I created a new project, added a follower, changed the description, and so forth. All that was done by me in just the last few minutes. It's all recorded here. You're probably not going to go to your activities and discussions application and just read everything that happened in your account. But what you might very well do is be like on a ticket, for example. Let me just open up ticket and see, in fact, that it had 7 activities on it. You want to know, why is it in this state? I can just click this. It'll take me to my activities and discussions application, and it will show me just the 7 activities that I care about. So this is a good way of auditing why is a ticket in the state it is, why is a task in the state it is, and so forth. So moving on down, here is the messenger. Now the messenger is a view that allows you to kind of consolidate all your conversations in one place. These are conversations with customers. These are conversations with in your internal team, and you can view them all here. Notifications will beep and show a little icon here when a new conversation arrives that you would like to respond to, and you can see all that here. We ourselves at OneDesk use this view to in fact manage conversations with you. So if you have a question for us, you can go on our website, or even inside your OneDesk account, you can click on this and start chatting with the OneDesk team. So this is our chat widget, and you can go ahead and contact with us, and we'll be in here replying to your questions right here. We see them show up right there. Unanswered items shows if you received a new ticket that you've not yet responded to. Now, because I have the auto response turned on, almost every ticket will, well, in fact, every ticket will automatically get a response. So this box is often empty. But if you turn it off, then the unanswered items box will start collecting things, also collect notifications as well. When you close a conversation, they show up here. And of course, you can search for your conversations if necessary. Now, in the My Conversations view, I see the things that I'm interested in. For example, my internal inbox, this will have messages from my internal team. My internal sent are the messages I sent off, and you can see here's one I sent off, and so on. So all that is available in the Messenger app. It allows you to centralize your conversations so you don't miss anything. You can turn your live support online and offline by just clicking this button right here. I've given you the quick overview. There's a lot of other tools that we have available, and I'm just going to touch on them very briefly. For example, when you can add a variety of things. You can create new reports. You can create the users, teams, customers, customer organizations. You can create your timesheets and your folders, projects and your portfolios, and the different types of items that you have turned on. Which is more than 3, you can turn on even more. Once again, here's a link to configure those types. The Tools menu changes depending on the application you're in, but allows you to control options in the view as well as run macros. Now, macros are like bulk edit with pre-programmed actions. So for example, this one is assigned to me and set to in progress. So if I run this on 6 selected items, they'll all be assigned to me and they'll all be set to in progress. You can create and save different macros here to make your life easier so that you don't have to do repetitive actions. And as you select, let me just show the details here, and I'll dock it on the side. As I select multiple things, you can see that I can just on the fly do bulk changes to things as well. So because I have more than one thing selected, I can make bulk changes to several things at once, such as move them to a new project, assign them, change their status, and so on. So some handy tools for just making your life easier there. Under Get Started, you'll find 2 things. One is a help guide called Explore OneDesk. It provides you with videos and with some pages of instructions on all different aspects of OneDesk. The second is setting up your account. This is a wizard-like interface where you go through different steps to learn about navigation and to actually set up your account for the first time. So set up your customer apps and so forth. All that is available as a wizard. Once you've completed this, you should be ready to use your OneDesk account. Under the user menu, there's some quick links to various things related to yourself. There's previewing the customer apps. There's administration if you're administrator. And here's where you can upgrade to Pro once you're ready to buy OneDesk. Down here we show how many more days are left on your trial. Now let's jump into administration. There's lots of things that are configurable in OneDesk, so I would like to walk quickly through administration to show you what's available. At the top, the first thing is your subscription. You can choose your plan. OneDesk has very simple pricing. All our features are included in all our plans. Customers and projects are always unlimited in all our plans. So the only thing you need to think about is how many internal users you have. So you choose the 5, 10, 20, 50, or 100 user plan. If you need more, give us a call or get in touch at hello@onedesk.com. You can also choose whether you prefer to pay monthly. And if you pay monthly, the price is a bit higher because you get 2 months free when you decide to go annually. Next is organization preferences. I won't go through them all, but it allows you to set up your logo, your working hours, localization, and so forth to configure some aspects of your account. Email settings is very important. OneDesk communicates a lot with your customers and even with your own team members using email. So in here you'll see the messaging center, which describes all the emails that we can send. For example, we talk about automated messages that are posted. Now, if someone has not seen a message inside OneDesk or on the chat or on the portal within 1 minute, we send it to them by email to make sure that they don't miss it. But what gets posted can also be automated. So we have these automated messages, and we have what are called automations that take care of that. So you can see that these are the active automations that post messages right here. You can see what are the different automations that do it. I'll take one for example, this second one here. This is posted when the status is updated on any ticket type. So when a ticket is updated and the status of the ticket is updated, then it's sent to both users and customers who are following the item. And here's what it says. It says, "Hi, requester, the status of this item type," here's the ID, "has been marked as," and here's the new status. So you can see pretty straightforward stuff, but you can edit these if you'd like to automatically do that. You can just click on the automation, go over and edit it. For automated emails, similar idea, except that these are direct emails, not ones that are sent because they were posted as messages on a conversation. You can edit them here, you can delete them if you would like to create new templates, and you can of course modify the rules that determine under what circumstances they are sent. System emails, you can edit the rules that determines whether you can send them or not, but you can turn them off if you don't want them. System emails are kind of take care of the standard plumbing of OneDesk. I really recommend that you only touch these carefully because you really don't want them. They will change your workflow, and so they might, for example, no longer inform a customer that the portal is available to them, and you might not want to do that, but I recommend to touch this delicately. We ship with some very good defaults. Everything will make sense. So play around, try it out, and only change it if you really need to. Integrations allows you to do two things. One, you can connect your OneDesk account to a variety of popular web applications. So you just click one of these integrations. We use the Zapier platform for this, so you can just use this Zap. You will need a Zapier account. So when you go over there, create a Zapier account on their website, and then you can use these Zaps to connect up. For example, this one connects QuickBooks to your OneDesk timesheets, so you can do that. Here we have single sign-on, so if you would like to be able to enable single sign-on in here, you can configure this right here. Under the applications, you can turn on and off the different applications that are found in the left bar. If you decide you don't want activities here, you can turn that off, and as you see, it's gone. You can also rename them. So if you have a different naming convention at your company, go ahead and change the names of them. Change your mind about turning things back on, you can just show the hidden applications and turn activities back on. There you go. So in tickets, tasks, and so forth, this is where you can manage all things related to these types of objects inside OneDesk. So you can have multiple types of tickets. As I showed you, we already have tickets and knowledge base articles. Knowledge base articles allow you to publish a special portal that you can put on your website, and we'll talk a little bit about that down here, that allows your customers to find answers to their own questions. So you can enable your different ticket types here. We have 2, but you can do up to 10 different types of tickets, and each of them can have their own independent workflow. So if I look at the statuses on tickets, you'll recognize them. They're the same ones we had on our ticket. I can remove them, I can change what the default is, I can add new ones, and so on. So that's where I'll manage all the statuses on my different ticket types. I can add custom fields to my tickets. I can turn on and off what properties are shown on the ticket detail panel. This is for the internal ticket creation form. So when I click add ticket, what are the different things I'd like to ask for, and are those properties required? And here are the workflow automations that are related to tickets. So you can look through them here and decide, if you'd like to modify any of these at all. Some of these are kind of straightforward. So for example, close inactive tickets that are pending customer. Let's take a look at this one as an example. I'll just click edit here, and you'll see that for tickets where the last modified date is older than 7 days, so a ticket that hasn't been touched in 7 days, and the lifecycle status is set to pending customer, then every hour we'll check what meets this date and we'll change the lifecycle status to closed. So this allows us to close inactive tickets from customers without having to manually do this. This automation saves us a lot of time. Now, if the customer replies, it'll still bump the status back to open, so it doesn't prevent us from speaking with the customer, but it does help clear up our backlog of open tickets. When we're waiting for the customer, they haven't responded in a week, we can close it off. You can modify these if you want to make it 30 days or whatever. You can modify these as well here. Lots of different examples here. Once again, I do recommend that you don't mess around with these too much until you've understood what they do and decided if you'd like to change that logic. Tasks has a similar thing. So you can modify all those things for tasks. Oh, I forgot to mention at the bottom of tickets, there's also service level agreements. So service level agreements allow you to create policies which will apply response time policies to given tickets. So if a ticket comes in, you can automatically apply a set of response time policies. I'll show you what one looks like. So here's a kind of simple one. We basically promise a first reply within 12 hours regardless of the priority, and a total wait time for the requester of 72 hours. So there's other things you can configure in here, and we have lots of instructions on understanding this. But basically, you create your own policy or multiple policies, and then you use workflow automations to automatically assign incoming tickets to a given policy. So for example, if you receive a ticket from a specific customer, you may automatically give them a gold level SLA. From a different customer, they may get a silver level SLA and things like that. So you can create your own SLAs. Then this will automatically notify the assignee before they're in breach so that they can take action before they breach the service level agreement. Tasks, similar properties as tickets. Timesheets, a few properties that you can change on timesheets. Projects, you can turn on and off projects, add custom fields to projects, create multiple different types of projects. Users, similar kind of thing, and customers, similar kind of thing as well. So you can modify all that. Now I'm going to finish off by going through the customer apps. All these applications here were to modify your internal apps, but you can also provide apps for your customers, and I showed you those here, but here they are. There's the messenger, the portal, the webforms app, and the knowledge base. You can also create additional portals. So if you go in customer apps, you can create your own, but out of the box, these four cover a lot of use cases. The messenger, it allows you to chat. The portal allows your customers to log in and see their own tickets and also chat with you in there about a specific ticket. Webforms allows you to expose one or multiple forms to your customers, and the knowledge base provides sort of a self-serve application where customers can go in and find the answers to their own questions. We ship with these things pretty well configured, but there are some things you can configure as well. For example, do you want a logo on there? Do you want to change the colors? Do you want to change the language? Do you want to allow customers to register themselves on the apps? And here's some instructions on how to put it on your website. The messenger, you can change some of the greetings when you're online and offline. The portal, you can change some of the rules for the login portal. For example, you can determine whether they're required to log in, which is the standard case, and you can decide what items they'd like to see on the portal. So let's see. For example, here, the default one is customers can see items requested by customers in their organization, but you could also change it to any of these other options here too. So all published items, just their own, just ones that are in projects they are following, or combinations of those. And here you can configure what properties to display on the ticket detail panel on the portal. So what do you want to reveal to your customer when they visit? You can configure that right here. And you can connect up the different web forms. If you'd like to have a direct link from your portal to your web forms, you can establish that connection here. Here are the web forms. We by default only have a ticket web form configured, but you can create a web form for any type of item that you've put in there. So you could in fact ask your customers to submit tasks directly by creating a task web form and putting it, adding it here and enabling that for your customer. Let me walk through what you can do on the web form. You can give it a name and give it a subtitle. You can add and remove the properties, and you can require some of those properties. A good example of one thing you can do is you can add the project property to the ticket, and you can actually allow your customers to submit to a specific list of projects. So this allows you to ask your customer what does it relate to, and it'll automatically flow into the right project. You can even add custom fields that you've created to the form here, so you can definitely capture the information you need to make sure that you know how to work on a ticket. And you're not going back and forth just to get basic information. A completed ticket that's got all the required fields filled in will give you everything you need to get started. Here's the knowledge base. Knowledge base is just another portal, but a portal that's configured with different rules. This one allows the customers to see specific published item types, and in this case we've chosen the knowledge base article. So when they visit this knowledge base portal, they can see knowledge base articles that are published. So that's it. We don't require login here, so they can just come in and help themselves. We've also selected different properties that we think they'd like to know about on the knowledge base article. And as you can see, it's pretty straightforward to configure. So lots of configuration options in here, but we've actually configured them pretty well out of the box. I would say that to get started with OneDesk, there's only two things you would really need to do. The first one would be to do your auto forward of your support box to your OneDesk email ticket capture, which is this email right here. And the second thing you would probably need to do is to put the customer apps on your website. To do that, you can go to customer apps and you can follow the instructions here. Essentially, it's just putting a JavaScript snippet on your web pages where you'd like it to appear. So that's the quick overview of OneDesk. I hope that I've managed to answer a lot of your questions. I'm sure you'll have more. And so because of that, we have a few ways that you can communicate with us. The first is that you can just click here and chat with us. So you'll be able to talk with our team by opening this bubble, and you'll be able to have a conversation with us, ask us any questions that you have. You can also go to our website and click book a demo and book some time that's convenient for you for a one-on-one demo with one of our team. So they'll sit down with you, it'll just be you and them, and you'll be able to ask whatever questions. You can ask them to show you around and things like that. So don't hesitate to reach out. We really would love to get you started with OneDesk. And I'd like you also to go over there for those of you who've not already signed up, to go over there and sign up for OneDesk and give it a shot. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.